Hey, let me. Oh, all right. Can you all hear me? Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me? Does my mic work? Here, let me. Here, let me get onto the. Let me turn on my. Here we go. All right. All right. Let me know. Does my mic? Does it work? I think it's on. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. We are live. What is up, everybody? Jim, how's it going? Chef Andy, Dreambert. What is up, guys? Christy, how's it going? Another Christy, hear you loud and clear. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I got the LSU beanie back on today. It's not cold in here. Just said, man, hair is it was going a little crazy. It's starting to get a little windier outside as this front is coming in here. All right, so we got some of our convective allowing models a little bit more in range now. So look at some of those. But before I get into this, I'll give everybody a few minutes to get into the stream. And before I get into the forecast, we have a lot to talk about. But before I get into the forecast, let me know, where are you watching from? Where are y'all tuned in from? Let me know. And let's get those answers in the chat. I'll read them off. I want to know, where are you guys watching from? One, it interests me, and two, well, I like to know where my viewers are coming in from. So, hey, we got our HRRR in, and oh boy, it looks like a wintry mess for the Southern Plains here. So, what's up, Candace? How's it going? So we got Seattle Metro. Jim, as usual, go Seahawks. Big game this weekend. Is that Seahawks game on Saturday or Sunday? I haven't looked yet. Well, maybe we can look right here. Let's see. It's on. Oh, they're both on Sunday. I thought maybe the NFL would have one on Saturday and one on Sunday, because that's what they do a lot of the times in the playoff. But oh boy, we got a lot to go over. So, all right. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna look at Max Velocity's forecast. How about that? Let's see what Max is tweeting up here. But welcome in, everybody. We got Spokane in here, Aberdeen, South Dakota. You're in here the other night. We got Paris, Illinois, DFW, Fort Worth. Oh, Storm Runner Media, Doppler Gang, 8 months. Let's go. Is Garrett in here? All right, well, Garrett might be in here. I don't know if Garrett's in here, if that's just a random thing that pops up. But Max Velocity says this is the kind of winter storm that makes you. I cannot read. This is the kind of winter storm that makes your ex want you again. Okay. Here's his forecast: 0 to 30 inches of snow expected in that region. Okay, here's his actual forecast. What do y'all think of this? Do you guys think his forecast is based? Do you think it's off? Do you think it's on point? What do you guys think of Max Velocity's forecast here? What are we thinking, chat? I need to get this all in the right spot. Let's tighten this up. Oh, there he is. Dude, Max Velocity has 12 to 18. See, me and Garrett have been on the phone all morning talking about where the heck we're going to chase. I want to chase like Tulsa, Northwest Arkansas, that region. He wants to do like Louisville. But I think we're both open to either one. But look, hey, Garrett, guess what? Max has the higher amounts right now. Hey, this is just the meteorologist Max Velocity has the higher amounts, Northwest Arkansas to Tulsa. So I don't know, man. Maybe he knows something we don't, but way off. Oh, well. Oh, what's up, Connor? How's it going? All right. Well, let's look at some of these models. I think that the best model so far has probably been the Euro. It's been the most consistent. First, maybe we can look at it. Let's look at our upper air dynamics here. And you guys can clearly see Oh, let me get my thing up here. There we go. Y'all can clearly see here. This is our little wave of energy out here that's moving up this direction into the central U.S., southern U.S. That's going to phase with our main jet stream that's up here. And those are going to phase together and cause some problems. So you can see here, look at that bowling ball. Hopefully my face cam isn't covering that, but look at we got this bowling ball of energy down there by the Baja, and you see it dips down and then it phases with this other trough jet stream that's over the Midwest and the Northern Plains. Phases, and then you can see ejects east. So we're going to kind of have, with this winter storm, we're going to kind of have two waves of energy. And you can see this very clearly on the Euro. Here's your first wave of energy getting going. This is late Friday evening. You have a lot of sleet and ice, Red River, north to about I-40. And then here's your snow setting up here, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. And that wave of energy is going to move east. And by midday, it is over my midday Saturday. You're talking Ohio Valley, Kentucky, Tennessee. Actually, it looks a little bit weaker on this run than the 0Z we looked at last night. I can go check actually, and all right, let's go see. Let's go see if this is any. It looks a little bit weaker out there to the east. Yeah, it is a little bit weaker. Look, on last night's Euro run, this first wave was a little bit stronger out here. It's a little bit weaker now. I don't think it's going to affect things too much because I think that the second wave has been trending up, but just something to keep an eye on. So let me get back to my slider. So you can see here. Here is Saturday afternoon. You can see that second wave is now coming across the Texas Panhandle and across I-44. And then you're still getting a steady snow. And then this is where the storm really, really picks up, is late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Heavy snow, Louisville, Cincinnati, all the way back down to southern Illinois. And you start to get heavy snow in DC. Now, eventually over there, you're going to probably switch to some sleet. But look at that band. Look at this monster band that comes through Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Sunday morning. Heavy snow up here now. You got Louisville getting into it. Columbus, Ohio, you're going to get good snow totals. Indianapolis, you're kind of on that northern edge. But I think if you're in Indianapolis, you could still realistically see over half a foot, maybe higher. You can see here, here's your line. Here's your line of sleet and snow. And you can see this, you got a lot of warm air advection really pushing into Alabama, Tennessee. Nashville, you're in a tough spot there. Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be a tough forecast for you guys, and it might be one of those forecasts where you don't really know exactly what's going to happen until it's happening. This is how these always are. Sometimes, especially out in this area, you can get a surprising amount of sleet compared to what you'd expect. That same thing with the sleet can also happen up here in the Northeast. And you can see there's your surface low, or it looks like you got a little surface low right here. And it's a little bit too close to the coast, cut down on the snow totals. Up by Boston, you might stay all snow, though. And then up in Pennsylvania, for the most part, outside of Southeast PA, you're going to stay mostly snow. This is a European model, so you can see that low sliding a little bit too close to the coast. Now, I think that the GFS has that low in a different position, and that gives mostly snow for I-60. Last night, my internet randomly went out on me, so I don't know. I've done 5 or 6 of these streams, and last night's the only time it happened. So I hope I got it fixed. If my internet randomly goes out, I don't know. That stinks. But yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully this stream, I was planning to be on here 40 minutes, an hour. We're going to see the HRRR run come in. And then tonight, if I have time, I was going to go live much later, maybe like 10, 11 o'clock, go live for an hour or two. I noticed that the nighttime streams definitely have a higher performance than the daytime ones, which makes sense because there's more people with leisure time on their hands at night. So I'll probably go live again tonight. But that's the Euro. So this is kind of the whole story here. You got that first wave Friday evening, and then by Saturday, it ejects across the Ohio River Valley and the Middle Tennessee Valley. You're getting exceptional freezing rain. There's going to be a big problem right here when it comes to freezing rain. And then there's going to be another big problem over here east of the Appalachians. As we talked about last night, sometimes this warm air can get on the west side of the Appalachians, but then the east side of the Appalachians, that cold air kind of gets trapped. So the east side of the Appalachians, you might have a better shot at having a bigger storm. Atlanta is going to be a tricky one as well. I know Atlanta's a huge metro. It's going to be tricky. The Euro says that you're going to get some bad ice for, 6 to 10 hours, and then that warm air is going to get you, and you will get out of the ice. The GFS may have a different story here. We're starting to get almost to the range where we can fully use our convective allowing models, which might show us more detail, but you can see the GFS, same story. First wave ejects across here, and then that second wave comes in. But it's just a little bit further south as the GFS. You see Atlanta, same thing. Atlanta starts as ice, and you do transition to a little bit of rain, maybe a little bit of ice on the back end. Little Rock, I think you're mostly going to be sleet. Memphis, mostly sleet, probably a little bit of snow, freezing rain as well. But it looks like on the backside of the system, you guys will get snow as that cold air dips in. So we can look at the 12Z HRRR here and some of these other cams. I like using the College of DuPage website because I just like the color scheme a little bit better than Pivotal. But here you can see Friday afternoon and the kind of like pink, and it's hard. The color scheme is really hard to tell, but I'll try to explain this the best I can. This kind of like purplish color right here, pink purple, is kind of, that's freezing rain. And then if we go forward, this like more reddish pinkish color is sleet. So you see the difference. This purple is like freezing rain. This darker like reddish pink color is sleet. And just keep in mind, a good way to tell this is you go from freezing rain to sleet to snow. So sleet is always in between the freezing rain and the snow, almost always. Another question with this storm is how wide is that sleet line going to be? What is up, everybody? Audio cut out? Am I good still? Audio cut out? At some point in the stream, I'll let you guys comment where you're from, and we can go over what's going to happen for your specific area. But so here's the RRR. This is dinner time, rush hour. So I wonder if I'm hoping a lot of people don't get caught off guard, because I'm sure everybody will be in school and work on Friday for the most part. Maybe out here further west, this is going to be like, this is freezing drizzle up here in the Panhandle. So this is going to be a mess at this point. But people might be caught off guard getting off work. But you have heavy sleet, snow. It's probably going to start as sleet. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, it's going to start as sleet, and it's going to very quickly transition to snow. Oklahoma City, I-40, you're going to be right near that line. Same with Fort Smith. But quickly, and then you can see by late evening, by 10, 11 o'clock, you have a pretty good swath of snow here. And then heavy winter precip to the south. So this HRRR will go out all the way to morning, and we'll look. So you can see that moderate snow, kind of heavy snow, moderate snow continues the rest of the evening. You can see that line, that sleet line, does push north, because while your air at the surface is really, really cold, you have a lot of warm air advection from the south. And that warm air advection, it does two things. One, it brings up the moisture you need for your storm. The other thing it does is it raises the temperature just up in the atmosphere. And that causes you to switch over to sleet. So, audio is fine. Okay. What about Oklahoma City? Oklahoma City, you're going to be in the winter battle zone. If this storm shifts a little bit south, Oklahoma City, you could be talking about a foot or more of snow. If the storm shifts a little bit further north, might be talking about a few inches of snow with a lot of sleet and ice. So it's just kind of a tough call here. But you can see Saturday morning, it's an absolute mess. I mean, this snow up here from like Liberal, Stillwater, Joplin, Springfield, it's not super heavy, but look at your temperatures. Your temperatures are in the single digits, so those snow ratios are going to be very high. Temperatures in the single digits. We can look at those ratios actually, and I don't know how accurate this model even is, but your snow ratios are about 15 to 18 in a lot of these areas. So that is probably a little low considering that your temperatures are in the single digits, but the counter to that is like you're getting more moisture for more snow because of the warm air advection. So what's up, everybody? Remember to smash that like button. I haven't even said that yet, but smash the like button helps me out. Click of a button for you guys. Just smash that like button for me. And once again, if you're just now tuning in, comment where you're from. Where are you from? And let's get the stream 100 likes here. I think the other night we had 200, but I think we can get this one to 100. So this is just one model, but this is by Saturday at 6 a.m. So this only goes out Saturday, 6 a.m. over these areas. You haven't even gotten the storm yet, but it already has 8 inches of snow, northwest Arkansas, Tulsa, east of Oklahoma City, already 5 inches in Joplin, and it's still snowing at this point. If by 6 a.m. Saturday, some of these areas have 5 to 8 inches of snow from like the first wave, then these areas are easily going to pick up a foot plus. I mean, if northwest Arkansas has 8 inches of snow from the first wave, they're going to get more from the second wave, I think. So you're looking at 1.5 feet of snow. Now we'll see if this actually does verify and you actually do have this much snow on the ground by Saturday morning, but we'll see. We'll see. But your snowfall rates are about half an inch to an inch an hour across most of this area, which isn't anything crazy. But guys, like when it's going to snow for 24 hours and you get snowfall rates that are half an inch, you can do the math. It might snow for 30 something hours in a lot of these areas will get snow for 36 hours. And so even if you're only getting half an inch of snow an hour, a third of an inch of snow on average an hour, that's going to add up over time. So what's up, everybody? Make sure to smash the like button here. I can't see how many likes we have. I don't think my thing is updated, but we got Illinois in here. We got Cincinnati in here. Osage City, Kansas. I actually saw a really strong tornado one time by Osage City, Kansas. Very top of West Virginia. What's up? What are you thinking, Tulsa? I'm thinking Tulsa is going to stay mostly snow. You might get a little bit of sleet to mix in at times on Friday night, but mostly snow Friday night. Saturday, mostly snow in Tulsa. Sunday, same deal. Tulsa, I think you're going to get up close to 1 foot of snow, give or take a few inches one way or the other, but I think you're going to get around 1 foot of snow from this system. And I don't know, that might be the biggest snow that Tulsa's had in a while. So we'll look at the wrap here too. Pretty colors, but the wrap kind of has the same deal. This is very worrisome. 4 p.m. I know this doesn't look like a lot, guys, but when your temperatures are as cold as it is, all it takes is this light freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and your roads are going to be a mess. So if these models are right, from noon on, try not to go out. Try not to go out from noon on if you're in Oklahoma, Knox County, Indiana. So, but try not to go out this area. It's going to be a mess by like noon. And then you can see heavier precip, more moisture starts to get in 7, 8 o'clock here. And you can see your winter weather battle zone. You got the sleet here. You got your freezing rain here. You got your snow up here. We could see those layers very well from north to south. And yeah, heavy snow on the wrap, heavy to moderate snow for most of the night. And even by Saturday at noon, you know, one thing that'll be interesting to see is a lot of these global models have like that batch of snow Friday night, and then Saturday during the day, they have it taking a break. You do see a little bit of a break here, but you still have light snow, some bands of snow. By Saturday midday, your heaviest snow is definitely going to be over here, Bowling Green, Kentucky, uh, Cape Girardeau, south of St. Louis. But yeah, I mean, this is at noon Saturday, so this is only like halfway through the storm, and Tulsa's already sitting close to a foot. Joplin, 6 inches, just to the south towards the Missouri-Arkansas border, about 10 inches. This right here, I think that this is a little inaccurate. I think that it's overdoing. The wrap is overdoing stuff right there. But even we can zoom out here. I'll zoom out. I don't want to talk about one region. That's just the region I'm talking about because our convective allowing models are only in a certain range and they only are out for this part of the country. Later tonight, we'll start to see some models for these areas over here. But even central I-70, 6 inches of snow. And this is going to be a very light, powdery snow. But what is going on? We got Zookeeper in here. We got Allie. We got Paul Ann. We got PBJ. Merkrow. What's up, guys? Trith, how's it going? How much ice for Shreveport? Let me see. Let's see what the GFS does. The GFS is farther south. So Shreveport, you're in that spot right there that could get rough. If this model's right, Shreveport, you're going to get smoked with ice and some sleet. Not much snow. Has like an inch of ice near Shreveport. Is that overdone? Probably a little bit overdone. Has a lot right here just to the east of the Appalachians. This is, I fear that the ice storm is going to be worse in these areas right here and these areas over here. That's where I fear that it's going to be the worst. The GFS mixes in a lot more sleet than it does ice. So it's something to keep in mind. There's max velocities. Let's go look at this legendary graphic. I'm not, the famous max velocity. Where is it at? Exploding tree risk. So if you're up here, exploding tree risk. And I mean, just look at this. Just look at this right here. Look at these temperatures up here tonight. I'm gonna go up here to the northern plains. I have someone in here from Aberdeen, South Dakota. So this is for you. This is for you from Aberdeen. Look at these temps tonight. These aren't the feels like temps. These are just the flat out temps. Parts of Saskatchewan, -40 degrees in Saskatchewan. Oh my gosh. Is that like Regina? That might be Regina. Regina, -40. Fargo, -20. Grand Forks, Minneapolis, -20. Northern Wisconsin, Duluth. You're in the Duluth, -30. That is insane, guys. That is insane. I wonder if we can look at the temp anomalies here. I'm gonna look at the temp anomalies here, and then we'll get back to the winter precip. But yeah, look at these temp anomalies. I mean, you're 40 degrees. So these areas up here are -40. And you're 40 degrees below average. So this here is below the average. This is the anomaly. So your average up here is 0 degrees. That's your average, and you're -40, so 40 below. So big time cold, and you could actually see this cold. Look at this cold. Look, this is another big thing here. I haven't even got to touch on this yet because there's so much to talk about, but this is another big thing here. Look at this cold air. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. You're going to have a lot of ice from here through here. You're probably going to have a lot of ice here. You're going to have a lot of ice there. You get that ice on power lines, your power can go out. Trees get heavy Older trees, especially, you get a lot of even half an inch of ice. An inch of ice can take down trees. You're going to get a lot of ice on those trees. Trees could come down. Little gust of wind. It's going to be windy. It's going to be gusty too. So a little bit of gust of wind. Next thing you know, tree falls on the power lines. You have no power for like 4 days because millions of other people don't have power, so they can't get to everybody. And you have this cold weather Saturday and you don't have power. That could be a big, big, big problem. So, and then we move to Sunday morning. Look again, Sunday morning. Negative or 25 below average. Sunday afternoon, Monday night, 40 below average again. Here's Monday morning. Look at this. We got 30 to 40 degrees below average, and the problem is you're going to have a major snow and ice, sleet. You're going to lose power. So if you live in those areas, stock up on stuff just in case. And hey, maybe best case scenario, don't lose power, and you don't need to use your emergency stuff. Now you're prepared for the next time something happens, whether that's next week, whether that's 10 years down the line, whenever that is. Then you're prepped. So look at that. I mean, look, this is from a snow and ice pack, but this is ridiculous. So you can see we'll go look at your cold air. So this model is one model, not a forecast, and it could be overdoing it, but look at your cold air that sticks around for weeks. This cold air sticks around for weeks, and then finally it says towards the beginning of February it starts to get a little better, but you can expect your coldest 2 weeks of the year easily, by far, the next 2 weeks. So I'll say here, I'm in Joplin, Missouri, Southwest Missouri. We've gotten a dusting of snow this year, and it's been very mild. So it's very fitting that we're going to probably get like a foot of snow, and it's going to be cold for 2 weeks. We haven't had winter yet, so it's fitting that that's going to happen now. Okay, let's go back to the HRRR. It's starting to come into range here. We can look at our southern plains. So here you can see, and get y'all that are out east, I'll touch on you guys. I'll touch on your guys' forecast in a minute. I'm gonna lock in here on the southern plains for a minute. Yeah, I currently chase with Garrett over on Storm Runner Media. So if y'all don't know, I used to do live chasing on this channel, but I'm moving the live chasing that I'm doing. I'm gonna be doing it for Storm Runner Media. I'm going to be putting a lot of my time and effort over there. And over here, I'm just going to do these briefings, whether it's for snow or severe or flooding or whatever it is. I'm going to do these briefings, hurricanes. I'll do these over here. I still want to go live on this channel. I still want to interact with y'all and go live. And so I think that's my best way to do it without doing the live chasing, is doing these briefings. So, but you can see here, okay, here's Friday at noon. Here's your freezing line right here. There, let me get a different color. That's hard to see. But here's your freezing line right here. Right there. There's your freezing line. You can see the mountains are definitely, gosh, why is this? My little magic drawer keeps getting all like, the shading keeps getting all big on me. So, but here's your freezing line, 18Z, which is noon Friday. So look, you got ongoing freezing rain. You're going to have ongoing freezing rain right here. Low to mid 20s, even teens. Western Oklahoma, I-40, I-44, disaster. Don't even try it after like noon. Don't even try it. It's going to be a disaster already. And then you go to 6 o'clock. You can see that cold air starts to build. And this model may be underdoing it a little bit. I think that the freezing line, here's your freezing line. I think that your freezing line is going to be more like this. I think that's going to be a more accurate freezing line, a little bit south. I think this is too far north with your freezing line. So a little bit far north, and then you can see by Saturday evening fills in. I mean, look, you got single digits north of I-40 for the most part, and then Dallas, you're starting to get those freezing temperatures. I personally think that Dallas, you're probably already going to be freezing, below freezing at this point. We can look at it. Look, I'll show you guys something here. Look at these model differences. Okay, so here's the NSSL model. 12Z will go to Saturday at, we'll do Friday at 6. Here's Friday at 6 p.m. So here's the NSSL, and we'll draw the freezing line right here. Here's your freezing line. So it does have Southeast Oklahoma kind of avoiding, and then it has some freezing temps in here just north of Dallas. But there's your freezing line for that. So then let's switch the model here. See, look at the triple R. This was like down. I can't even get it right, but it's like down right here, wasn't it? Yeah, like right here. So look at the triple R. See how much farther north the triple R is? Like it has Fort Smith at like 40 degrees. I don't think Fort Smith is going to be sitting at 40 degrees. Here, look. This was right at freezing on the NSSL. The triple R has the temps in here in the mid 30s. So you can see there's certainly some model differences. One thing about shallow cold air, and when I say shallow cold air, I mean that the air at the surface is cold and then you go 2 or 3 miles up and it warms up. That's what I mean by shallow cold air. Shallow cold air always wins. It always goes farther south than you think. Every time. Shallow cold air with these Arctic fronts, it always goes further than most of the models think. So keep that in mind. So we'll go out to our we'll see if how the precip changed on this triple R run here. It's not all the way out, but here you can see Friday at 6 p.m. Friday, you have heavy sleet and ice across Oklahoma. You have snow starting up in Kansas. You have a mixture in the panhandle, and then as you go through the evening, you switch quickly to snow. By 9 p.m., you switch to mostly snow across northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri, switch to mostly snow. Your snow ratio is 15-1. They're going to be pretty good. And then you stay snow throughout the night. So by midnight, you're still getting moderate to heavy snow here. And then 6 a.m., moderate to heavy snow. Oklahoma City, you're in a tough spot. You're right on the sleet snow line. Oklahoma City. Tulsa, you stay mostly snow. Joplin, northwest Arkansas, mostly snow. Northwest Arkansas, Tulsa, a little bit of sleet's going to mix in at the onset. But once the atmosphere cools off more, you'll get the snow. So you'll start with sleet. Atmosphere is going to cool off. You'll get that snow. And so this only goes out to 4 in the morning. So let's see. This already has a foot of snow in Fayetteville by 5 in the morning Saturday. If something like this happens and then you get that second wave coming in, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Tulsa, you're going to get like a foot and a half of snow at least if something like this is happening. Because this is just the first. I mean, this is just the first wave, and there's still like another 6 hours on this model run. So this is just that second wave doesn't come in until the evening, and you can see on the GFS that's the first wave. Here's your second. Look at your second wave. Your second wave comes in Saturday night, and it could be and Sunday morning, and it could be even stronger. And if we go off the Euro, if we go off of the Euro model, look at your second wave. It's much stronger. Let me get to it. Look at your second wave across Oklahoma, Arkansas. Your second wave is much stronger than the first one. So that's only the first wave. So if we see amounts like that from the first wave, then your potential of the storm just goes up, up, up. Still, by daylight Saturday morning, you still have pretty good snow happening up here. Your sleet line is mixing up close to Tulsa. And then over here, Boot Heel, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, you're about to get smoked if this run went out any farther. So let's look at the I want to do the south. I want to do a little breakdown in the southeast or the mid-Atlantic. Man, I got the hiccups now. All right, guys, in a second. Yeah, an inch of ice near Shreveport wouldn't be shocked. That seems somewhat realistic. All right, let's look at the Ohio Valley over here, east. So here's your onset. Saturday evening. So it's going to be about a day later than Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Arkansas. About a day later over here, but some light snow, I-70 down to the Ohio River, some light snow, a little bit heavier stuff down here in Kentucky. And the Euro kind of downtrended on this first wave, so it could be a little heavier. Maybe it's onto something. And then you can see that cold air. You can see that warm air. My face cam might be blocking that, so. But you can see this warm air. At this point, this is like this is Saturday evening. You can see that warm air pushing up. Why's my dot so big? There you go. We can see this warm air pushing up through Alabama, and then here's your Appalachians. On the east side of the Appalachians, you get this cold air that gets stuck on the east side of the Appalachians. That's why I'm extremely worried, and we'll see how that cold air does in Atlanta. That's one of the biggest questions: is how does that cold air do in Atlanta? Yeah, you know what? Just for fun, after we look at this, we'll go look at the other system next weekend, because we might not be done with winter weather in the South. It might not be done. Now we'll see. Does this next system next week end up north again? We'll see. But remember, I was showing you all the GFS and how cold it was going to be. The cold air is going to be in place. So if there is a system that can take advantage of the cold air, the South could have another storm. So here, late Saturday night. So this is 3 a.m. Saturday night. Louisville, Cincinnati, you start to get the heavier bands. DC, you're starting to get into it now. Richmond. Atlanta, you're still ice. So I know I've showed you guys this on the past streams, but we probably have some people in here who have not seen this. But so I'm going to explain the difference here between why some people are going to get snow, why some people are going to get sleet, and why some people are going to get ice. It all has to do with what's above the surface, 2 to 3 miles up into the atmosphere. Let's see here. So you can see your surface temperature is 20. This is a sounding in Atlanta. Your surface temperature is 27. And here's your freezing line throughout the atmosphere. So this is your freezing line in the atmosphere. So this red line is your temperature line up in the atmosphere. So you can see 1 kilometer, 3 kilometers. So that gives you an idea of how high. So as you go higher on this chart, you go higher up into the atmosphere. If you go right, your temperature gets warmer. Left is colder. Hopefully some of that makes sense. But you can see there's your freezing line. Here's your actual temperature. So see how the actual temperature starts left of that freezing line at the surface. So it's cold at the surface, but then as you go up, ooh, look at that. You go to the right of your freezing line, which means your snowflakes are melting in the raindrops, and then they don't have time to melt into ice pellets before they hit the surface, so it's rain. And we'll go look at a snow sounding here. Here's a snow sounding. Here's your freezing line right here. There's your freezing line. You can see your temperature at the surface is to the left of that, 14 degrees. And then as you go up, you have warmer air as you go up, but that air isn't warm enough. Doesn't hit the freezing line. You get all snow. So I hope that makes sense. But that's why some people are getting sleet. Some people getting freezing rain. And I know my camera might have been blocking that a little bit, but that's the basic explanation there. So Sunday, the storm is hitting hard on Sunday here. Pittsburgh State College. DC, that line is going to get that line of mix is going to get very close to DC here. It's also going to get very close to New York City. As we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, our surface low, if it goes farther away from the coast, I-95, mostly snow. If it goes right close to the coast, a mix. If it kind of goes along the coast, you're looking at more rain or freezing rain. So where that surface low slides up is going to be important. So you can see the Euro The surface low is sliding very close to the coast. And look at that. New York, you're dealing with a mix. Philly, mix. DC, mix. Because that low is close to the coast. Boston, you should be far enough north up here in Boston to avoid the should be far enough north to avoid the sleet, but that's something to watch. So as far as amounts go, this is just the European model. This is not a forecast, so don't take this 100%. But here's your amounts through the end of the storm. Shows Louisville a good 17 inches. Same with Cincy. You can see DC sitting at 8. That's because you're getting sleet. If it was all snow, you'd be above a foot. Same with Philly, 8, 9. You're getting sleet mixed in there. New York City is far enough north to where you get less sleet, but still a little bit cut down on those totals. And then you got Boston up here. But here's the Southern Plain. Actually, I'll go up here. Here's the Southern Plains with the Euro. Tulsa. This would be like Tulsa's biggest snow in like 30 years, I think. Oklahoma City gives you 16, 18 inches. Yeah, did you guys like my explanation of the sleet versus or not? I didn't go over sleet. I guess I did snow and freezing rain. I can do sleet too. Sleet is about the same. It's just your temperature cools off a little quicker as you get to the surface, so that the ice pellets or the raindrops have time to go back to ice pellets. Uh, but that's how it works. I tried to explain that in the most simplistic way. Whenever we go live for severe weather setups, we'll definitely be breaking down those soundings on here. But I mean, the Euro just has a crusher of a storm. Like, this is not a normal storm. It's not a mid-tier storm, as some might call it. But what's up, Marianne? Good afternoon. Okay, so I'm gonna use this time in the chat. Let me know, where are you from? Where do you have family living, friends? Let me know, and I'll kind of give you what I think is going to happen for those locations. So go ahead in the chat. Let me know. Let me know some locations you want to know a forecast for. Everybody comment in the chat, and we'll look at the HRRR run. It should be all the way through. HRRR is my favorite model. For snow, it's kind of but it just depends on the setup, I guess. So you can see, even by noon on Saturday, you still have some light to moderate. Given the snow ratios, this could be moderate snow out here hanging on. And then you can see your second wave. You can see all this moisture from Mexico. All that moisture from the Mexico desert. You got a lot of moisture streaming in from the Atlantic. You also have moisture coming in from the Pacific with the low pressure system aloft. So, all right, guys, I'll get to your comments in just a minute. This is the HRRR snow amounts out to noon Saturday. So if it's noon on Saturday and Northwest Arkansas already has like 12 to 15 inches, it might be a 2-foot storm. Joplin up here sitting 9 inches, Tulsa a foot. If these areas already have 9 to 12 inches, 9 to 15 inches of snow by Saturday morning, like when the stronger wave hasn't even come through yet, you're talking about a very historic generational type of storm here. If these amounts are more like 5 to 8, which is pretty good, you're still talking like a foot of snow. Even if these areas at this point have 6 inches of snow, you're still talking about getting another 6 inches plus the next night. So these are pretty historic amounts. If this model is right, I would really prefer to chase in this area right here. But we'll see. Maybe it's a little bit bullish, but we'll see. Okay, guys, let me get to some of these comments here. I'm just going to use the Euro as just like a general, as a general look. You know, how about we go to a different website here? Let's use I hope I'm allowed to use this website, but let's go to Tropical Tidbits. I don't know, it just looks a little bit different for you guys. So okay. Yeah, the whole area DC area over is difficult to forecast. Yes. Okay. North Carolina. Now, North Carolina in general, mostly ice and sleet. So a few days ago, it was looking like North Carolina maybe could be snow. You're going to be looking at ice, sleet. Um, Savannah, Georgia, rain, maybe some storms. Dallas, you can see Dallas right here. Dallas, you're probably going to start out with a little bit of rain. You're going to switch to freezing rain. And you might this model showing maybe on the back end of the storm, Dallas could pick up some snow, but you're mostly going to be talking sleet, freezing rain, probably more freezing rain than sleet, but a little bit of sleet too, and maybe some snow on the back end. Osage City, Kansas. You're looking at a very light, steady snow, but that light, steady snow could go from Friday at 9 p.m. until Sunday at noon. So that's like a 36-hour period. So even though you're pretty light snow up there, you could still easily pick up 8 to 12 inches of snow up by Osage City. But it just kind of depends. I think it all depends really on this. I think the first wave is pretty locked in. I think Osage City, this first wave, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow maybe. But then it's going to depend on the second wave for you guys. So Osage City, I think, is like up here somewhere. Maybe right here. So if this second wave slides about right here, you're probably going to pick up a little bit more snow on top of that. If it slides a little bit south, Osage City, you might be talking more like 4 or 5 inches total. If the second wave slides a little bit north, you might be in the 8 to 12 range. So it just really depends. But you guys can see I'm actually going to loop this out. And you guys can see as I loop this out, you can see the dynamics at play. You can see the moisture swinging in from the Pacific. You can see the moisture swinging up from the Gulf, and you can see the cold air coming down here. And it creates one big area of just winter mess. So you can see all the dynamics at play. You can see the moisture coming this way, cold air this way. And that is how we get a potentially generational storm, is everything is coming together just perfectly, which is how the weather always has to be. Central Iowa, you're on the northern edge. I haven't looked too much into it, but I would probably anticipate maybe a dusting. If you get lucky, maybe 2 or 3 inches. If it trends a little north, maybe a few inches, but at least a dusting inch maybe. It just kind of depends on the placement of our storm there. Southeast Oklahoma, McAllister. Okay, McAllister, you're gonna be mostly sleet and freezing, probably more sleet than anything, but a little bit of freezing rain too. And then maybe late Saturday, McAllister, you're gonna switch to snow over down there. Once that second wave comes in, you're gonna get some more cold air on the backside. McAllister, you're probably gonna switch over to snow at some point. Cleveland, Ohio. Joplin, Missouri. So I'm in Joplin, and right now my forecast for Joplin is I want to go higher, but I gotta say 8. I've seen this story so many times. I gotta say 8 to 12 right now in Joplin, but I wouldn't be shocked if we got over a foot, like a foot to 15 inches. If the HRRR is right, we're gonna get over a foot, maybe a foot and a half if it's right. But it's a big if. We'll see. Cleveland, Ohio, kind of on that northern edge. Maybe you'll get some like lake-induced snow, but I mean the Euro has a pretty solid snow shield. I mean Cleveland's right here. Euro has a pretty solid snow shield. You could get half a foot to a foot of snow, maybe. Less or more depending on the track. I have to see. Let's see how much the Euro has for Cleveland. The Euro has a foot plus in Cleveland. So, I mean, I would say 6 to 12 is easily obtainable. Like I said, maybe a little bit more if the storm tracks right, maybe a little less if it doesn't track right. But you're farther east, so you should get the northern edge as it's sliding up. I don't know where Cortland, New York is, but Kansas City. Oh, Kansas City's a tough one. Kansas City's a tough one. You're gonna get. It's kind of like Osage City. You're kind of gonna get that light snow, and if the second wave is a little farther north, you could possibly get 10 inches a foot. If the second wave is further south, maybe like 4 to 6. So Kansas City's a really, really tough forecast as of now. Boulder, probably a few inches of snow up there. Haven't looked too much into it, but the energy's kind of gonna slide by you, so probably a few inches of snow. Bentonville, Virginia. Let me look up where that is. Let's see. Oh, just west of DC. West of DC is going to get a little bit more because you're in those mountains. So if the storm tracks a little bit further south, you could get like 1.5 feet of snow over there. If it tracks a little bit further north, you're going to get more sleet. And you could get maybe like 6 to 10. 6 to 10 if it tracks a little bit north. If it tracks a little bit south, probably a foot plus. So it's hard to say because if these tracks change 50 to 100 miles, everything changes for certain spots that are on the edge. What's up, Ghosty? How's it going, Ghosty? Bethany, what's up? We still got Garrett in here. Dry slot. Someone's going to get dry slotted on the back end of the storm. You can see that actually if we go here. You can see the dry slot. You can see the dry slot on the back end of the storm right here. But, I mean, there's really not. The dry air is all to the north of the storm. I think as far as moisture goes with this storm, I don't think you're going to have too many issues because look at your look at your winds a couple miles above the surface. Your winds a couple miles above the surface are streaming in all this moisture. And your surface winds here are meeting with surface winds from here. So you're going to have plenty of moisture with this storm, I think. That's usually the bug. Honestly, that if there's anything up here that worries me as far as a bust goes for us up here is moisture, because we had a storm where we were supposed to get 1 foot of snow last year and it busted because we didn't get enough moisture. But all right, I got to catch up on these chats. Okay. Can't wait to see you out and chasing you. Heck yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, good snow. Joplin, Missouri. We haven't got 1 foot of snow in 15 years. So I'd say that's about a generation, maybe. So yeah, this would be a generational storm if we got 1 foot of snow here. Lawton forecasts are 2 to 15. Yeah, I think Lawton's going to be more sleet and freezing rain than it is snow, but I do think Lawton's going to get a good punch of snow on the back end of the storm. So Lawton, you're going to be like, you might have like 2 or 3 inches of sleet. You might have a glaze of ice, and then you might get like 4 or 5 inches of snow or something. So that's going to be a mess in Lawton. Pettis, are you cooked? I don't know, man. I think you're cooked. I think it's going to be a close call, but I think you're chalked, dude. The Euro says you're chalked because you're going to get a dangerous ice storm, and then you're going to get that warm nose. But you might be able to stay just enough to north to not get the warm air. But see, that's the hard thing. Nashville too. It's like if the storm trends 50 miles south, Nashville's getting a major ice storm. If it trends north, they're getting mostly rain. If it's where it's at right now, you just gotta wait till it's happening before you know. Like, really, I know that's a cop-out answer, but really, I mean, sometimes you just have to wait till the storm happens before you know. You got to get the right observations. You got to see, okay, is our temperature higher than we thought? Is it on track? Sometimes you got to wait for these observations to come in. Thoughts on severe potential. We will touch on that quickly here. So let's look at the severe potential. And I'll be doing these briefings, guys, during all of severe season when I have time. I'll be busy with a lot of other stuff too, but when I have time, so you can see our trough is sliding down towards the Gulf. And then by Saturday afternoon, you can see you should have a severe setup somewhere down here towards the Gulf, somewhere down here. That's a pretty decent. I mean, it's a little bit sheared out, but that's not a bad trough. Here's your low level winds. Saturday evening. Definitely enough for severe threat, but I don't know how robust it might be. It might get more robust after dark when those winds increase. I haven't even looked much at the severe threat. I would say if this trough could tilt a little bit more negatively, then that severe threat will probably go up. You're probably going to get a stronger low level response. Let's look at a sounding. I pulled a good sounding last night on the Euro, and I don't know if it's still. Sorry, it's Sunday. It's not Saturday afternoon. Sunday afternoon. I'm. I meant Sunday afternoon. I was looking at the wrong day. Yeah, this is a pretty good sounding for severe weather here. So not bad. Here, why don't I break down this quick? Here's your cape. You can see this and the white dotted line and the red line. That's your whatever in between is your cape. So obviously, if that area is thicker, you have more cape. That's convective available potential energy. That's kind of your juice in the atmosphere. This LCL height is where your cloud bases are. So pretty low LCLs. Your dew point's pretty good for this time of year. That'll get it done. Equilibrium, that's how tall your storms are going to get. That's like kind of the cap on the atmosphere. Your clouds are going to go up, they're going to hit the equilibrium, and then they'll anvil out. So here's your hodograph. It's okay. For this time of year, it's not great, but it's solid. You have a nice loop in the low levels, and then you have a lot of upper level shear. The only thing that can make this better is if your surface wind was like out of the southeast, then your hodograph would look even more loopy, but this is a pretty solid hodograph. I don't know what storm mode's going to be like, but even with a QLCS, you probably still get some tornadoes there on the Gulf Coast. So that's going to be a really undervalued part of the storm. I don't even know if they don't even have an area out, but yeah, they talk about it. They talk about there being a risk there. So just for fun, let's look at next week. So we have another potential winter storm next week, maybe across the south, maybe across the plains. Who knows yet? The East Coast, maybe the cyclone goes up the coast, and then, but day 4 slight. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So here you can see, look, you have a lot of cold air. Next week, you're going to have a lot of cold air in place across this whole region, lots of cold air. And so if you can get another system to slide in, like this, what's going to happen is you're going to get a low pressure somewhere out here, and then you're going to get enough moisture up to where you're going to have snow on the north side of that low pressure because there's enough cold air. And this is so far out, like there's a signal for it, but nothing, I mean, at this rate, nothing is set in stone, but there is a signal for a winter storm here. You can see the GFS has it. That would be, this would actually be a generational storm if this happened, and then look at the cyclone. That's actually ridiculous. It bombs out to a 963 low up there. Wow. The Euro, we can look at the Euro. The Euro also has a little something. See, look, the Euro has a little bit something. Now, it's not as strong in that low. See, it's not as strong on the Euro, but it does have something similar around the same time. And then the Canadian also has something down here. A little bit of something down here. And the icon doesn't go out far enough. Actually, it doesn't go out far enough. So those are the three models we have. We can look at the GFS. I think the Canadian last night actually showed it too. This is the Canadian last night. Look at the Canadian last night. It shows a big storm down there as well down there. So there is some model signal for another big storm. So guys, get used to it. But who knows? Maybe that storm will end up on I-70 again. I don't know. But well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here in the next few minutes. I'm getting tired, guys, and I gotta conserve my energy because I have 3 or 4 streams live with Storm Runner Media this weekend, chasing this wherever we may be, from New York City to Oklahoma City to Tulsa, wherever the heck in between, Louisville. We don't know exactly where we're gonna be yet, but I do know one thing: we're not covering the dang ice. We're covering the snow. So. And then I'm probably going to go again. I'm probably going to go live again tonight. Hopefully no more internet issues tonight, but we'll see. I'm going to go live again tonight. I noticed, like I said, evening, you get a little bit bigger of an audience in the evening. And then if I'm around tomorrow, I'll go live again tomorrow. If I'm around, if I'm not around, I might be on the road. Maybe I'll be leaving tomorrow afternoon or something, or middle of the day, and I'll go live in the morning. But I might go live again tomorrow. We'll see. But other than that, as far as live severe storm coverage goes, I'll be over with Storm Runner Media. But wake me up when it's spring. Yeah, I agree. Wake me up when it's spring. But yeah. I'll make sure to like the stream. If you guys know anybody who might need to see some of this information, share it with them. And I will go ahead and, I don't know how to raid myself, but I'll go ahead and schedule my stream right now so you guys can go in there and like it. So whenever I end the stream in like 30 seconds, go to the new stream, like it, comment, let's go, and really emphasize the O on the end, you know. But comment, like the new stream, and I'll probably be in there tonight when the models come back in. Yeah, that's about all I got. So I will see y'all tonight. So I'm making the new stream right now, so go look for it in like 2 minutes. But I'll see y'all. Peace.